But up next, we're joined by someone who's practically a regular here on Avixa TV, Wesco Senior Vice President of Global Enterprise AV and UCC, Phil Langley. Phil, thanks so
Hello.
much for joining us again.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes, I think the last time we saw each other at ISC in Barcelona.
Yeah. I look forward to this part of my event schedule.
Oh, lovely. We're glad to have you here in sunny Orlando, Florida.
Thank you.
So I know last time we talked a lot about Wesco's service forward approach, and now we just kind of want to take a closer look at that strategy and how it's being more implemented across your whole portfolio of solutions. So in terms of command and control those spaces, you collaborate with so many vendors, and you address a lot of challenges that organizations are facing. So can you speak a little bit about how your service forward approach is really applied through those partnerships?
Yes, it's an $18 billion marketplace for Pro AV. It's a big business, and it's growing. And not unlike the huddle space, where the complexity has gone out of the technology, or it's stayed inside a smaller box as opposed to lots of little boxes. That's driven up the volume, right? So complexity out, volume up. And we're seeing the proliferation of command and control into data centers, into corporate offices, into higher education. I was in Cairo recently, and I went to the new museum, the Egyptian museum, and we had a tour of the command and control center there in a museum.
Wow.
They're everywhere. So with volume comes stress on the channel. How do they handle that? How do they take on all that product and put it on their own balance sheet? So what we do is we take the product as a program. We will take the whatever equipment's needed. We unpack it, DOA test it, make sure that the firmware's up to date or any IP addressing's done. We stack it on the pallet in the order that it needs to come off. We wrap it in plastic and we ship it to site as the channel partner PM wants, as an almost finished appliance. And the invoice clock starts then, not way back when they bought it. So it's really a working capital play. It's an installation enhancement play. And it helps them scale over large geographies because we're really a global services provider. We just happen to be a good distributor as well.
Wonderful.
And you mentioned data centers.
Yes.
Broadcast environments are increasingly reliant,
Right.
on those data centers. So how is that shaping your approach?
That's a really good question because we talk here, or Avixa talks a lot, and there's a big buzz around broadcast AV. But we're really, that's a big part of our business, but we're also focused upstream. So you think about the new streamers that have entered the space.
Right.
People like Apple, people like Netflix. How do they get their data out to stream out to their customers? It's effectively a data center. We have a massive data center practice. So I've shifted my business towards working with our own data center practice and pointing that at these new streamers to assist them get to what they need to get to. So it's really a new income for us as an organisation. The industry is shifted towards our capability, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it's smart of them to do that.
Yeah.
And organizations, right now we're still in a time frame where there's still that continuous move to hybrid models and return to work. How is Wesco really helping organizations adapt, both in terms of workplace design as well as technologies that help make that transition more seamless?
Yes, I think we've finally settled after COVID, right? We're starting to see dollars unlocked out of large corporations. We know that technology underpins that. And not unlike the way we approach the command and control, we did the same thing. We work through our channels, though we do have people embedded in end user accounts to make sure they understand who we are. And we ensure that we have 65 odd engineers that work in the background to work with our channel to ensure that the design is where they need it to be. But really it's lower complexity, high volume, large geographic areas, and ensuring that our channel partners can actually meet the demand of these new corporations.
And so maybe like a large-scale venue, what does it take to build out such an infrastructure to handle that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot, but if you just focus on the infrastructure itself, there's miles and miles and miles of cable. So we have it, again, we pre-provision all of that. We make sure it's in the right lengths if it's required to be in the right lengths. We have programs to buy back any wastage as well.
Right.
We store on our balance sheet until it's required. So again, it's a services play, a working capital play, an efficiency play to ensure that these large venues that take a long time to build and at different stages that we can meet the demand and the channel partner can meet the demand.
Wonderful. And I know we spoke a little bit about Entrosim
Yes.
before. So can you tell me a little bit about how that acquisition and the launch of Entrosim software, how is Wesco, how's that helping you guys integrate building management into that space, and what really sets that platform apart?
Right. So Entrosim, yes, software platform. It sits in between OT and IT. So OT is like the old BMS system. So you've got lighting control and chiller control and, making sure the room is the right temperature. You can imagine, I was just on a panel recently and we were speaking about the usage of AI in the meeting room, but AI is also going to be sensing the CO2 levels in that room and making sure the lighting levels are right. How many people, how many occupants in that room? If there's areas of the room that aren't, areas of the floor that aren't working, why have they got the lights or the air conditioning on at all? So there's no way that we can interface with that unless there's software that can overlay the BMS system. And IT and AV are part of that now. We're a subset of that. Everything, security, all hangs off the network. So this software for Entrosim allows facilities managers and ITs to manage their building. And now we've been talking about intelligent buildings for a long time, but all the consultants tend to sit in their own ivory towers, and it wasn't long ago where there was a control system subset for every different technology in the building. Now you don't have to have that. It's all tied together with Entrosim. And there's not, honestly, you ask me what sets it apart, that there isn't really anything else that does what this does. We can get right into a meeting space as well as lighting, HVAC, and have it all roll up onto a command and control center with Entrosim. So we're really excited by it. We've actually got it here at the booth if you want to come down and have a look.
Well, we need to
I was
know
going to
where
say, yeah, I mean, it's a really powerful moment to have a convergence technology like that as the industry is converging, and it's more important that people come and understand that and can talk to you. And so where can they find you on the show floor?
Yes, booth 3020. I learnt that yesterday. I never seem to remember the booth number, but I learnt that yesterday. Yeah, so 3020, big booth, biggest one we've had, very busy, but we've got the guys from Entrosim there to walk you through it.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. Well, everyone be sure to stop by that
Please.
booth. Yes, please do. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
guys.
us. We always
Appreciate it.
appreciate you joining us here on set. And yes, have a wonderful rest of the show.
You too. Thank you.